Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Nilambuja Shyamal Komalangam Sita Samaropitavama Bhagam Panavu Maha Sayakacharu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. Erorations to Lord Rama, whose complexion is like a blue lotus, very tender and delightful in appearance. Sita is seated on his left side, carrying powerful bow and arrow in his hands. Shri Ramcharitmanas in Ayodhya Kanda, and we are towards the verse number 96. At this stage, the context of the Ramayana is Rama, Lakshmana, Sita. They are in the Nishada country with Guha Nishad, and Sumantra, the minister of King Dasharatha, who has taken Rama, Sita, Lakshmana towards that forest, towards Banavas. Sumantra gave the message of King Dasharatha. This is the stage where Sumantra has to depart, leaving Rama, Lakshmana, Sita in the forest. But instead of departing in a nice way, Sumantra gives the message with the idea that Rama will return. That was how King Dasharatha had asked him, that let Rama, Lakshmana, Sita look at the forest, live for a while, and then bring them back. But of course, Rama already, all that we have already covered that story. Rama will not go, Lakshmana will not go. Finally, Sita is the target. Sakuchi Rama Nija Sapath Devai Lakhana Sandeshu Kahiye Jani Jai. In this context, Lakshmana spoke up something that would degrade King Dasharatha. But Rama says to Sumantra, please do not convey this, what Lakshmana has said. And I have explained that to you. You must realize that along with while the story has its own flavor, the entire story has nothing to do with the history. Now, if you think of history in another point of view, then every soul is Rama. And whether you consider it historical or hysterical, every soul has to attain liberation. Every soul is joined with Sita, discriminative knowledge. Together, they must come to a state of destroying Ravana ignorance, and that's the Ramayana that goes on in every individual. घट घट में है राम. And Lakshmana aspect is the role of dhyana. Dhyana stage does not wait. It gives the glimpses of the highest goal very quickly. But Jnana stage calms the dhyana-based energy. Sudden energy emerges in dhyana level. You do dhyana, suddenly mind has become calm, and say, oh, bravo, I have attained enlightenment. But jnana level calms you down. Wait. Allow the all integration to take place. The subtle point behind it. But each time Lakshmana speaks up something against Kaikeyi, against King Dasharatha, Rama calms him down. And Lakshmana always follows Rama, no matter how vibrant he becomes, finally cools down with Rama. यही विधि अवध आव फिर सिया सोई रघुबीर ही तुम ही करनिया. And Sumantra now conveys another message that all right, if Rama, Lakshmana don't want to come, let them stay. But let Sita return to Ayodhya. न तरुणी पट अवलंब विहीना मैं न जियब जिबि जल बिनुमीना. If Sita does not return, I will not survive. Just like a fish cannot live without water, I cannot live without Sita, who is bringing the touch of Rama with her. मई के ससुरे सकल सुख जमहि जहाँ मनुमान तहाँ तब रही सुखे नसिय जब लगी विपत्ति विहान. And Sita will live according to her choice with perfect freedom. Live in Sasural, in the palace of King Dasharatha, or if she wishes, she can go to live with her father, King Janaka. And she will stay joyous until Vipatti Vihan, this night of Vipatti, night of adversity, until the period of Rama's dwelling in the forest is over. Vihan means morning. Vipatti is the night, Vihan. Cock started crowing. This entire episode is highlighting the role of Viveka Buddhi. The Viveka Buddhi that allows the spiritual progress to become dynamic, leading to realization of the self. But that Viveka Buddhi is not ordinary. Vivek Buddhi needs to pass lots of trials and tests. Intellectually you may think you have gained it, but in divine hand, constant trial and test is presented, and you go on discovering that your Viveka Buddhi is gaining strength. But if Viveka Buddhi does not have that strength, spiritual progress will not be possible. Your personality, your life will be confined to the world of cycle of birth and death. And your goal will be having lot of prosperity, bhoga. The only attention you will give is how to avoid hell, hellish sufferings, and how to secure happiness. How to avoid sorrow and have the sunshine of joyousness. But this whole project is impossible in the world that is transient. The world of Maya. You can't become free of all pain and full of joy. Every joyous condition is sustained by your good karma. And good karma has its account. When good karma is over, your prosperity dwindles. And then again you go through the cycle of adversity, prosperity, meeting, parting. That's the world, samsara. So should the buddhi within you, the intellect, the understanding aspect, another term that is more popular is sumati. The mati within, when it becomes highly purified, sanamati. Sabko sanamati de Bhagavan. But that sanamati has to be well tested. It is not every type of intellect or understanding that you consider sanamati. The sanamati must bring you in tune with God within yourself. Until then, your sanamati can be sumati, better mati. But to be absolute sanamati, you have to have attunement with God within. The path of devotion must become fixed, unshakable. Even though you may not have attained the goal, but that path must become unshakable. Love of God must become the voice of your heart. And mind must therefore continue to adjust itself to promote the quality of sanamati. In other words, you should not fall for temptations. Your mind must understand the difference between worldly prosperity and prosperity promoted in your heart on the basis of your increasing divine virtues, culminating in humility, nirabhimanita. That whole process. And sanamati shines through all this process of divine virtues. In other words, simple way of saying, everyone falls for happiness, prosperity, what is known as prayer, that which seems pleasant to the mind. But for attaining enlightenment, Sita within you, Sita potential, switches the attention from prayer to Shreya, that which lead you to liberation. Lord Rama himself now puts Sita to test. Each time an opportunity comes, Rama goes on telling Sita, "Oh Sita, go back. You want me to make me happy? Make King Dasharatha happy." His father and so many things Rama says. But that again is not Rama exactly wants her to do. This is examination, oral examination. बिलती भूप कीन्ह जही भांति, आरती प्रीति न सो कही जाती। Sumantra says to Rama that this is the pleading. King Dasharatha has pleaded with all his love for you, Rama, that let Sita return. पितु संदेश सुनी कृपा निधाना, त्यहि दीन सिख कोटि विधाना. Having heard the message of his father, Lord Rama, who is the abode of grace and compassion, told Sita, instructed Sita in countless ways. If all that is given, it will be bigger than the Ramayana. Siyahi deen hasik koti vidhana. In one line, hours of talk have become summarized. Koti, millions of ways Rama went on explaining how wonderful it would be for you not to go to forest, go back, and we will return after 14 years. But the point is, spiritual sadhana should not be separated from the movement of Viveka Buddhi. Your sanmati should not leave you. At every stage of your sadhana, how much your mati, your understanding, is playing its role that you have to understand. It is that understanding that makes your sadhana effective. If it is not fulfilling the purpose of your understanding, your sadhana needs to be corrected. Errors and correction continue, should be viewed as something negative. सासु ससुर गुर प्रिय परिवारु, तिरहुता सब कर मिटाए खबारू. Rama said, "O Sita, return home." And by going home, you will end the sufferings of Sas, Sasur. Sas is mother-in-law, Sasur is father-in-law, King Dasharatha, Guru, Vasishtha, near and dear ones, their khabar will be finished, will end. The Hindi word is khabar. Mitae khabaru. Kha is akasha, expansion. Instead of being expansive, bhar, a load comes onto your head. That's khabar. प्रभु करुणामय परम विवेकी तनु तजी रहती छाह किमि छेकी. Prior to that, सुनिपति बचन कहती भय देही सुनहु प्राणपति परम सनेही. Hearing the words of Rama, Sita spoke out, O Pranapati, the Lord of my life and supremely beloved, Prabhu Karuna Bhai Parama Viveki Tanu Taji Rahati Chaha Kimi Cheki. You are full of compassion and supremely wise. How can shadow exist separated from the body? You want the shadow to get out of your body? How can you do that? In other words, in a spiritual movement, Sanamati is a radiation of your jnana potential. A radiation cannot be separated from the source. Put it another way, the source is like substance, like the tree, and the radiation like shadow. So Viveka Buddhi, the more Viveka Buddhi, greater is the light of God coming towards your mind. In simple logic, you cannot separate shadow from the body. Prabha jai kaha bhanu bihai, kaha chandrika chandu taj jai. Can the morning light stay separated from the sun? Can moonlight move away from the moon? You may see them, moonlight, totally far away from the moon, but that's your illusion. You are not separating moonlight from the moon. In the same way, spiritual movement cannot be separated from the progress of Viveka Buddhi, intuitive knowledge. Both must go together. पति ही प्रेम मैं विनय सुनाई कहती सचिव सन गिरा सुहाई. Having told these words to Rama, and Rama stays quiet. Now she turns to the minister, speaking very courteous words. तुम पितु ससुर सरिस हितकारी उतर देऊं फिर अनुचित भारी. You are doer of great good to my father, rather father-in-law, and thereby you are extremely helpful for me. And in this situation, my giving answer to you is not courteous, but forgive me. You must realize Ramayana presents ideal of courteous life. And courtesy has to follow in home, in school, dealing with anyone who is referential, superior. Life of courtesy. When two persons are talking, and especially if they are in a little elder stage, no matter how important, wonderful your news may be, you have to keep quiet. And if at all you have to say something, then to approach it with humility. Even before saying, you say, please forgive me. So this is what we are talking about, courtesy. आरती बस सन्मुख भयं बिलगुन मानवतात आरज सुत पद कमल बिनु वादि जहां लगिनाथ. Oh dear one, Sumantra, because of this distressing situation, I have uttered my words, and don't take it negatively. Forgive me. And then she presents what she has to say. Separated from the lotus feet of my Lord Rama, all relations, loving relations, are vyarths, meaningless for me. And that's the definition of Viveka Buddhi. Sanmati is pointing finger to the truth. Satyameva jayate nanritam. So that Sanmati has no fascination for all relations of this world, which near dear ones, all relations, all expressions of human love, their source is love of God. And she goes on saying that I have seen the glory of my father. Also implies the glory of King Janaka and King Dasharatha. Indeed, the palatial homes are the treasure house of all pleasures. But without Rama, all that means nothing to me. Simple way to understand what you were taught in Vedanta. The entire world and all its glory is described alpam. And that Viveka Buddhi within, pointing finger to Rama. Rama is the only delight, infinite. All other attainments, other than attaining liberation, all attainments are perishable, little. At the same time, she is also conveying the message that King Dasharatha has attained all his prosperity as a result of virtue. His virtuous karmas have led him to that state. But the goal of life is not to stay in a stage defined by virtuous karmas. Try to understand the point. Be virtuous. And led by virtue, be prosperous. But you should not stay stuck with it. If your virtue does not allow you to attain liberation, then you are restricted by bhoga buddhi. आगे होई जही सुरपति लेई अरध सिंहासन आसनु देई. King Dasharatha is welcomed by Indra. Whenever he goes to visit Indra, Indra puts him right on his throne. Half he occupies and half Dasharatha. It's a mathematical setting. He has attained a state which is equal to Indra, and he is ready to go beyond. But Dasharatha himself does not go beyond. Allegorically, Dasharatha extends in Rama. Rama goes beyond Indra level. But Dasharatha prepares that stage by his good karmas, by his purity of heart, and so many things. Rama is the fulfillment of Dasharatha. Dasharatha, the very name you must realize, Ratha is chariot. Dash is your 5 senses, 5 organs of action, and that's allegorical. Sasureta drisha avadhanish nivasu priya parivaru matu smamasasu matu samasasu binura gupadi pada padum paraga mohi keu sapanehu sukhad nalaga. Even that type of Sasur, King Dasharatha, so powerful, so great, and adding to all this, wonderful mother-in-laws. All that is indeed source of immense joy. But without Rama, to me, all this is not sukhad, not giver of happiness. Even in dream. Agama panth ban bhumi pahara karike hari sarasarisa apara kol kirat kuranga bihanga mohi sab sukhad pranapati sanga. Now, as again and again they had told her that life in the forest will bring a lot of challenges, and Sita is enumerating them. Agama panth. There are pathways that are not simple. You have to clear the pathways. They are inaccessible. Banabhumi. The land in the forest is not simple land. 1 foot goes up, 1 foot goes down. You don't have plain stretch. And mountains. And that's not enough. Kari ke hari. elephants, lions, tigers. Want more? Yes. There are lakes, rivers, and they are wild, uncultured tribes. And yes, some good-looking herons, deer, and birds. This is an allegorical description of challenges placed before every soul. World process in a broad way. You don't know how a passage is going to open to fulfill your wishes. And how adversities come to you like mountains, like inaccessible forests. And how sometimes situations develop situation of moha, a deluded type feeling of great comfort. But you don't know that your feet are just slipping down into a marsh. It's a comfortable slip. So the entire description, the description of challenges waiting for every soul as you evolve through this world process. But all this becomes easy if you are attuned to Rama, God within you. That's the secret behind a spontaneity that comes in your soul for attaining liberation. Sahaj, Saras, Sanidhya. Sadhana waits for these three mantras. Your progress should become spontaneous. When a tree is growing, it has countless challenges, even from the root. So many, I don't want to describe that. But the tree grows sahaj, spontaneous. You don't see it shouting and grieving. There is a spontaneity. But while the tree is growing with spontaneity, there is a delight in the tree. Every little leaf flutters. The birds smile. They invite birds. And the whole tree rejoices, the festivity develops. That's saras. And final stage, the tree brings its fruit. Sweet. Amras. Not worldly amras. So, that should be the ideal that should an aspirant need to understand. The whole process should be easy, sadhana movement. But if it's not easy, don't be upset. That is your goal. Go on working for it. Until love of God makes things easy. When you do things out of love, for the sake of love, even in families, people don't complain when they are going to get their children married, and in that process, day and night, they work very hard. But they do not mind it. Anyone, even with hard work, You meet someone, and I begin to say, oh, what a wonderful luck, good luck. I will not go into detail of that. So it's called saras. You are fighting, but there is a joy about it. And until you are united with God, that's finally. So spontaneity in sadhana. And while sadhana movement goes on, you are not deprived of the joy. Love of God bringing nectarine experience in your heart. So you are not missing. You are not saying, oh, how long will it take? You are enjoying it. And final state, you attain liberation. सास ससुर सन मोरी हुति विनय कर भी परिपाए मोर सोच जन करिए कछु मैं मर बन सुखी सुभाए. On my behalf, touch the feet of King Dasharatha, Kaushalya, Sumitra, Kaikeyi, and convey my vinati, my humble pleading before them, not to worry about me. I am very joyous, living in forest with Rama. Prananath priya devar satha, veer dhureen dhare dhanu bhatha. And if you are afraid of my getting into some risky situation, endangering my life, that's not possible. Because Rama and Lakshmana, who is embodiment of immense power, they are with me. And they have bow and arrows. With them, there is no tiredness for me in my journey, no delusion, no sorrow. I am extremely joyous. Sanamati, blended with dhyana movement, Lakshmana, and jnana, Rama. This whole setting is so joyous that all things that you consider difficult and challenging, they all become like fleecy cotton fibers, or better, silken fibers, smooth. Suni sumantru siya sitala bani, bhayav vikal janu phani mani hani. Sumantra heard this. The first reaction is frustration. He thought that at least he could get Sita back and see King Dasharatha happy. That was his mindset. But now, extremely frustrated, he can't get anyone back. He will simply go back to say, no one came, knowing that King Dasharatha then cannot even survive. So these cool words given by Sita created a great impact on the mind of Sumantra. He became so desperate, like a snake that has been separated from a special type of money. It's a style of snake. In the old stories, they used to have a little stone shining with tremendous, it's a kind of a pearl. People used to hunt those snakes for the sake of the money. And those snakes, they would not live without that pearl placed within their own head. But that's all that you don't have to go after. The main point is the description of profound love. नयन सूझ नहीं सुनई न काना कही न सके कछु अति कुलाना. The state of Sumantra, as if that pearl has been taken away from him. He is unable to see anything. His ears don't hear anymore. He is so agitated, he couldn't say anything. Rama prabodhu kin bahu bhanti tadapi hoti nahi shitali chati. Rama tried to calm him down, soothe his discomfort. He did many ways, but Sumantra didn't come to a state of coolness in his heart. Jatan anek sath hit kinhe, uchit utar raghunandan dinhe. And the minister did many ways of convincing Rama to send Sita. Jatan anek साथ हित कीन है. In simple words, lots of things are condensed together. Even at this stage, Sumantra is not easy. Rama had to say so many things. And Sumantra went on contradicting Rama, and Rama went on giving proper answer. The moral behind it, that in spiritual movement you can see how much patience is needed. Rama did all that in a short time, but in your lifetime it is not so rushed. It takes its own course. मेटी जाई नहीं राम रजाई कठिन करम गति कछु न बसाई. But ultimately, Rama's will, that cannot be negated. Kathina karam gati kachuna basai. And again the word karam gati is brought into Ramayana. Literally means the fruit of karma. Whatever karma you have done, its fruit will come, you cannot avoid it. But that's not the real meaning. Karam gati, just like the law of karma is infallible in this world. The law, a divine law that every soul must attain enlightenment. That's infallible. Soul cannot stay whole in this world of illusion. And it's bound to attain liberation. No, nothing can be done about it. So knowing this, don't delay your movement. Switch your attention to your goal, because you can't avoid it. You may go through millions of lives, but you cannot avoid it. So why go through millions of lives? राम लखन सिय पद सिरुनाई, फिरे बनिक जिमिग मूर गवाई. Sumantra has no choice, but now he offered his adorations to Rama, Sita, Lakshmana, and returned, prepared for returning to Ayodhya. As if he lost. A businessman loses all his capital wealth. रथुहा क्यों है रामतन, हेरी हेरी ही नाही, देखी निषाद विषाद बस, सुनहि शीश पछिताहि. Sumantra drove his chariot, and the horses didn't like all this. Went on looking at Rama again and again, and doing hi-nana, neighing. Poetic way of describing all these challenges we faced. Your senses are horses, your body is like a chariot, and all your personality at every level is involved in this spiritual project. And at this stage you must realize all the Nishad, Guha, Rama's friend nearby, and all the relatives and subjects of Nishad, they are all, crowd is gathered. They all look at this situation. Vishad bas. Lot of distress has enfolded them all. And we will continue. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarkum Bandhanan Mrityor Mukhyamamritat Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyant Ma Kashchid Dukhabhag Bhave Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Mritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Hari Om.